Alright, so today we do some more work on the heater hose, rerouting, and stuff like that. It's going to be pretty exciting. Okay, so real quick before we get into the heater hose rerouting, if you guys remember early Trill days, my big 18-inch chrome rims that were heavy as saw some kid online trying to trade his Steelies and subwoofers for those, so I got more Steelies. They're not at all the same. They're not deep dish Steelies. They're not cool looking at all, but they are 17 inches and they're lightweight. The reason why I wanted to get rid of those chrome ones so bad is because each wheel was 25 pounds without a tire and probably closer to like 30 something pounds with the tires on. Which were just too heavy for my car. It made it perform like crap. Like even with the Sr20, like it would weigh it way down. So I got these 17-inch Steelies. They come off like a Ford or something like that, but I like them. I think they still look nice even though they're all, you know, just Steelies. I like the 5-spoke look. So I was able to get those with tires. One of the tires is blown out, but the other 3 are good. So I was able to get those and this sub box with 2 12-inch subs. I'm probably gonna redo the sub box. Maybe that'll be a future video. And like I said, I just got these for some drift spares. I know like 17s aren't what you'd want for a drift spare because the tires still aren't cheap yet, but I feel like they're gonna be getting cheaper because newer cars, the rims just keep getting bigger and bigger anyways. So low pro tires are getting cheaper and cheaper, but they are lightweight. It's a more common size than my Steelies that I have on the car right now. So those are going to be like my running drift spares more than likely. So anyways, cool. Got those. Got the subwoofer, so now the Scion bumps hard as balls. But enough of that. You guys probably don't even care, and I shouldn't have even told you any of that. So let's just get into the heater hose rerouting. Okay, you guys should remember from last episode, but this is the Sr20 heater hose piping. Basically, coolant just kind of flows through here, wraps around, goes into the heater hose that's not going to exist, and then loops back around and comes in here. So what we're going to do is basically just chop off that whole piece and just chop it off right here, have a loop run through so the coolant just kind of flows through and then loops right back in. Okay, so here's the end that we're going to be looping, and the way we're going to do that is with this hose right here. Boom, just like that. Perfect. So I'm going to start this off by cutting it off way up here because I'd rather just cut off more and more as I go to find my nice comfort zone than cut too much off and kind of be screwed. Another thing is a subscriber told me what part number this guy is, so I also got one of those. So thank you for whoever commented that. I don't remember your name right now, but I really do appreciate it. So I got another one of these. I just got to cut it down the size and pop that guy on there. So this pipe was pretty old, but the hoses were still good. So I know that I wanted to reuse the hoses. So the key here was to be as gentle as possible with them and not ruin them. So I started off by just removing the hose clamp. This first one gave me a little bit of trouble, but once I broke the surface contact with the screwdriver, just prying it up a little bit, I was able to pop it off. Typically, once you break the surface contact, you could just give the hose a twist and then it breaks free and you can pull it off. But what's holding it together is just all the corrosion and rust. And when you take these hoses off, you could really see how bad the corrosion and rust was. So this last hose I just cut off because I knew I had a replacement for it anyways. And then I just took off this little piece that was going to run to the turbo, which I'll no longer need. Now when I get a piece like this off the car, one that I'm not going to get to very often, I like to take my time and clean it up really well, just because I want it to look nice and I know I'm not going to get back to it later on. So I put it on the vise and clamped it down as tight as possible and started cleaning it up with a wire brush. Now this corrosion did not come off easy with the wire brush. Like, it took a lot of pressure and a lot of grinding away at it to get it off. But what I did notice is how easily the rest of the pipe cleans up when I hit it with a wire brush. So I got a little bit carried away, and I knew that I wanted to repaint it, and so I was gonna need to sand this part down anyway. So instead I just took the wire brush to the entire thing, and it cleaned up really nice. So I just switched up the angle here, show you guys me cleaning up the bottom side, and then I just held it by hand so I could get the tough angles that the vise was not letting me. Alright, now that looks a hell of a lot better. I'm going to just shoot it with some clear coat, but before I do that, I'm going to straighten out this little pipe that's bent. So there we go. And what I may end up doing is what some subscribers suggested. They suggested I just put some JB weld, basically, right on that little seam. That way I don't have to worry about welding it. And it should work out. Should hold up just fine because it's not going to be under a lot of pressure. So we'll do that. Well, I just cut this piece off and my camera decided to stop filming right before I started cutting, so that's cool. But imagine like this. Like that. And there it is. That's how it happened. Alright, so real quick, I'm going to test fit this hose and see how it worked out. Okay, so it's nowhere near on all the way because I'm going to have to lube it up with like soapy water or like WD-40, which is, the guy at Napa said WD-40, but I've always used like soapy water for stuff like this, but I don't know, we'll try something, but we got to lube it up. But what I did notice is that it will go on just like that. I don't have to do any more cutting, I don't have to do any straightening of this pipe. It's just going to snap just right on there, just like this. Bada bing, and we're good to go. So that's good news. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear coat this guy to keep it nice and shiny. I was going to paint it black, but I don't know, I like this brushed aluminum look. So just clear coat it, that way try to prevent it from getting as bad as it did, or at least slow it down, and then we're good to go. I really need to put some JB weld on this guy though. Alright, so I still have some high heat clear left over from the engine bay, and that's what I'm going to spray this up with. Looks good. I'm going to let that dry, go watch some Initial D. I'll be back. Alright, so now we got this piece all cleaned up and it looks glossy as all hell. We're going to go ahead and throw the hoses back on. Okay, so now that this hose is all hooked up and ready to loop on through, I'm going to clear the clear coat off this piece. I'm going to throw some JB Weld on it right now. There you have it. With the loop completed, it's now time to throw it back on the motor. Then just tighten down the last couple of hose clamps and bolt the little bracket onto the engine, and there you have it. That is how your new loop should look. Now it's time for me to just cut this piece down to size. I waited till everything was on the motor so I knew how much to cut off exactly. And right here I'm doing it with it on the motor, which was a pain in the neck, and I was doing it with a very dull razor blade. So the cut on the hose just is garbage. It is not a good cut by any means. So I pulled it back off because I wanted to make it look as nice as possible, and I took these wire snippers and I just clipped off all the little pieces that were unlevel. And once I did that, it was time for me to throw the hose back on and tighten down the hose clamp. So it's good to
go. This is a Chucky Beat production.
And here is the final result. Okay, so the next issue that you're going to run into if you're trying to do this heater core delete is where to run your turbo water lines to, seeing as how that hose is not going to be wrapping around the back anymore. Well, the short answer is run it into the water neck. Me being the dummy I am, when I first was researching this, I thought I had an S14 water neck because I saw this little bolt up top here. But if we take that out, you'll notice that is way too small. I actually don't know what this goes to. It's probably a ground, if I had to assume. But you know what they say about assuming, so I'll let you guys tell me what it is in the comments down below. At this point you have two options. You could either buy the S14 water neck. That's what I would do if you wanted to keep like a stock Sr20 look. However, I just want the cheapest option available, which would be buying a water neck adapter. Okay, so this right here is a water neck adapter from Stance. Basically it just goes on like so, and it will add on this side, it will add this nice little threaded hole for you to feed your turbo lines back into. Now obviously these bolts are not long enough, so it does come with some replacement hardware as well. These will run you about 50 bucks, which is almost half the price of an S14 water neck on eBay. So this is the cheaper option. This one I was able to find used for 25 bucks, and seeing as how it's like still brand new, that was definitely the best option for me. So the first step is to just clean off as much of the old RTV as possible. To do this I use some steel wool and some soapy water and a rag to just rub away at it as much as possible. When you're done, you should have almost a machined finish on it. Just real shiny and clean. Now, because I bought my water neck adapter used, I'm going to have to repeat this process on the water neck adapter as well. That came off really easy with just a little bit of steel wool. I don't know if that's good or bad. Next up, I'm going to just add my RTV. I'm using this black RTV because mechanic I knew back in the day said that just use black RTV for everything. I know I don't have to go around the edge here, but I like to, and I do what I want. So I'm going to add it to the water neck first, and then throw the bolts in it to help line up the adapter. Now time to throw the adapter on. Push it down lightly. Boom. Now to add some more to the adapter and then screw it on the motor. Alright, so now tighten them down until the RTV is touching both pieces, and then we'll let that sit overnight, and then we'll torque it down to spec, which I'm not going to actually torque it down to any spec. I'm just going to tighten it a shit ton because I'm not going to look up torque settings for this piece. Wish that they would have put the hole up here, but seeing how this hole is actually meant for a additional water temp sensor, it's going to be in the front of the engine right here. It would have been nice if it was up here. I think another company makes one, like Circuit Sport or somebody, I don't know, and I think theirs is up top, but this one's on the front. But it's alright because we're going to get braided lines anyways, so it's just going to fit right up in there and then tuck underneath real nice, so it will actually look better. So now all you have to do is just put in your turbo like you would as if it was an S14, and you're all set. Now I wanted to do more than just that today, but I ran into some issues. My turbo lines got sent to my post office, and my post office said that because they sent it to Go for Broke Garage and not me, my post office was like, oh, that person must have moved and sent it back. So I just told them, keep it, refund me my money, and I'll buy some more. So I bought some different ones from a different company. They're on the way. I made sure that it says Dayton Mercurio on it, and it's coming to me and not to Go for Broke Garage, which the post office doesn't know anything about. That's that. They should be here sometime this week so I could actually finish routing the turbo, and that's why I couldn't get it all wrapped up. Also, I need your guys' help because I'm not smart. So excuse the disgusting workbench. It's a mess right now. I bought this coolant hose kit because I like the color and they glow in the dark. Don't judge me, okay? Bring back the rice. So anyways, I bought that, but I have no clue where any of these hoses go. So if any of you guys out there bought one of these hose kits and put it on your car, please send me some pictures of where the hoses go, because right now I have no clue. But that's not the only question I have. Sorry for the terrible lighting, but if anybody can point out to me where these lines go to, if any of you guys could point out to me where those lines go to on my intake manifold, I would really, really appreciate it. I'm looking at diagrams, but they are confusing as hell. So if anybody can simplify it for me, that would be awesome. And I know there's a lot of you SR20 wizards out there, so if one of you guys could just like hit me up on the Facebook or Instagram or even here on YouTube and just make sense of that for me, that would be awesome. And also where this one goes to, because I'm pretty sure that one wraps around the front of the motor to like the turbo, maybe? I don't know. Okay, so next week we should have everything on the motor and have the motor be ready to be put in. But for that to be possible, I am going to need your guys' help. Everybody out there with an SR20, I need you to go out and look at your motor. Because me, personally, I've never seen a put together SR20 in my life. Like, I may have seen them at some car shows and stuff, like car meets. However, never in my hands have I ever had a put together SR20. None of my friends have SR20s. All the SR20s I bought have been taken apart prior to me getting them. So I'm putting together a puzzle that I have no clue what it looks like. So all you guys out there with SR20s, if you guys can help me piece this puzzle back together, I'd really appreciate it. And if you guys can send me some help, by next week I should be able to get the intake all back on, the turbo lined and fed and everything like that. And I know I have some SR20 whiz kids out there. A few of you guys have messaged me on Facebook and stuff, so I need you guys to do that for me again, and help me make sense of all these vacuum lines and coolant lines and turbo lines and everything, all these like little like plugs and chips and everything that I have on this motor still to do. I need your guys' help with that. So if any of you guys can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram or here to help me out with that, I'd greatly appreciate it. But with that being said, then all I have to do is throw on the clutch and the transmission and plug it into the car, and then we have to just wire it up in the car, which we'll probably run into some more issues, but that's besides the point. I just want to get it into the car. Okay, so that's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate all of you guys that have stuck around. Please show your support, hit a like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff if you haven't already. I know a lot of you guys watch my videos and you're not subscribed, so go ahead and subscribe. Also, I've been doing live streams a lot where I play with my racing simulator, and some of you guys come out, hang out. It's fun. It'd be more fun if more of you guys came and hung out. That way we could get like an actual lobby going together. My Twitch is in the description down below. You can go there right now, even though I'm not streaming, and hit follow, and that way you'll get an email notification when I am streaming. Also, if you haven't already, go and hit that little like YouTube bell so you know when I upload here on YouTube. So that's it. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Love you.